Well, now, let's say you're watching this video within the country, or say you are outside the country and you're looking forward into, I have some cash in my bank saved somewhere. It is idle, it's not doing anything. And I'm looking forward. How exactly can I make it work for me? Okay, first of all, what does it mean when you say money working for you? And I want you to listen to those words, money working for you. Because there is a difference between you working for money. See, when the money works for you, that is actually the genesis of what we call the financial freedom. Now, how do you actualize that? And money working for you, I know you might think like, hey, this one needs people who with huge chunk and what have you. Probably I don't qualify. No. See, there are some of the advantages that you have or get when you actually have money working for you. Why? You don't have to make those calls. You don't have to do the follow-ups. You don't have to work on the things we call the trust and water. But have you ever tried to start a business and you're outside the country and you're like, guess what? I have a brother back at home. He's a transport guy and whatever. So I'm going to send them money. I'm going to start a business. And you know what? I'm outside the country. By the time I'm showing back home, I have a big business and then all those dreams are actually inflated. Deflated within a month or two or whatever the period it is. Okay, so the point is now, how do you let money work for you? So for you to let money work for you, you have to understand the concept of investment. And I told you one thing, money is not a product to be consumed, but rather a tool to make more of it. By the way, the easiest tool to use to make money is money. Let me just put that on the board. The easiest or the sure bet tool, let me just put it on the board, okay? The sure bet tool to help you make money is actually money. You know what does it mean? You need money to make money. That's a reality. Okay, now, if you're in a position whereby you've now ceased trading your skills, the time and energy to make money, now you have the money, then how do you use the money to make money for you? Okay, now, how to use money to make money for you? You simply choose an investment that works for you. Okay, why am I even saying works for you? Because there's some investment that do not work for you, works for me, doesn't work for someone else. So what happens is that you have to identify who is you. When I say who is you, then you have to identify your financial muscle, okay? Your financial muscle. Okay, financial muscle. In short, I'm saying financial capability. What is your financial capability? For example, let's say I decide to talk about the treasury bills. Okay, the treasury bills, you need a minimum of 100,000 Kenyan shillings for the money to work for you. Let's say you don't have this amount of money and you don't understand yourself. So this is not a tool that you can use to help you or money work for you. So you cancel this tool if you don't have that amount of money. Maybe I'm talking about treasury bonds. The treasury bonds, you need to have a minimum of 50,000 Kenyan shillings. Therefore, let's say you don't have this amount of money as of now saved somewhere for it to work for you. Therefore, that's another tool that you cancel that cannot work for you. All right, now we are still continuing. You see, now what we are doing, we are actually identifying what can actually work for us. Let's say you go to something like let's throw in something like a money market fund. A money market fund in Kenya, you need as low as 100 Kenyan shilling for you to get started. If that qualifies, amazing. That can actually work for you. Now, the point is this, just because it worked for you does not mean it is that what is appropriate for you. It worked for you based on the amount of money that you need. Did you get that point? Why? Because you need to pick an investment that can help money work for you, not only on the qualification that you qualify based on the finances that you have, but also, is it appropriate for me? There are some individuals who tell you, Joseph, I want to invest my money. This money, I don't want to fix it somewhere. I want to access this money at any given moment. Let's say you qualify for maybe say bills on bonds or whatever, but you're telling me, Joseph, I don't want to fix this money. Yes, I want it to work for me, but I don't want to fix it. I want to access it at any given time whenever I want it. Now, what exactly can you pick? For example, just because you qualify to go with the treasury bills and treasury bonds does not mean now that is appropriate, because the sum of the box that has not ticked. You're going to go ahead and invest into the treasury bills, but now you're quote unquote fixing your money. You cannot access it at any given time. Okay, you're still in liquid in a way, but you cannot access it at any given time. But if you go the MMF way, therefore you can be able to withdraw that cash at any given time. Let's give you another example. Let's say you want to go the stocks way. The stocks way, somebody tells you, can you imagine this person asking you this question? Hey, Joseph, if I invest on stocks, how can I withdraw my money? You cannot withdraw your money because you no longer have money. The moment you buy stocks or you buy shares, you don't have the money. You have the shares. It's like somebody asking you, you've bought a car, and then you're asking you, maybe you don't like the car, you don't want the car, and you're like, how can I get my money back from my, which example can I even use? You're asking, how can I get back my money? You can't get back your money. Why? The money was exchanged with you having that thing you have. So how do you get back your money? You sell that what you have. So the moment you buy stocks or shares, you don't use the language, how can I withdraw? That's not the language. The language is not, how can I withdraw? No, the language, how can I sell? If I buy this pen, let's say you sold me this pen and I gave you my $100, for example, assuming that's what it costs. Therefore, and I'm like, I don't want this pen. I want my 100. And then I'm asking somebody, how can I get that 100 from her or him? That's not the language. The language is, how can I resell this pen and probably get back my 100? That's the language that you should use. So at this particular point, when you go the shares or the stocks way, you speak the language of selling and you speak the language of long term. And how long is long term? I always tell people, if you're speaking the language of long term of 2 years, that's not long term. Long term for me, if you ask me, I would say in a period of 5 years and above. That's long term. But you speak the language of 1 year, that's short term actually, if you ask me. Yeah. Okay. So the point is this: when you pick an example of where money can actually work for you, look for the money, how much you qualify for. Number two, you look for the things that is actually available, that is actually working for you. What do you need? Number three, the consistency of your flow. Number four, your target. How much do you need at what particular period of time? Because you need to make sure you give it a time frame. By what time or by when do you need that amount of money and how much do you need it? So that at least you can know this specific structure that I'm going to use, it's actually appropriate and right for me to go ahead and invest as far as the money working for me is concerned. Therefore, these are just but examples of the situation where the money works for you. Do not use the business language and you're saying the money is working for you unless you do what we call business is, you're not working for money. Let's say you start a business, you have to show up each and every morning. Money is not working for you. No, money is not working for you. That's the reality. Unless you have a business, you've employed people, you have laid the structures and the system that you don't have to show up, the money is still coming in. At that particular point, I would say that's a business wrapped up in a media of investment. That way, it is the money working for you. But if you have to show up each and every day, you are there, you know what, business, you are there, business, you are there. No, that is not money working for you. When we say money works for you, it simply means that the money you're not following up. And these are the examples if you can follow, especially if you're working from outside the country. If you're watching from UK, US, Gulf, whatever the point, you can actually pick the examples and put it out there as far as the investments are concerned. And in that case regard, you can say, I am basically money is working for me. Okay, now let me just wrap up with this information in this simple case scenario. So when you talk about money works for you, you usually get what we call the low interest. That's what you have to be at peace. Not really low interest, but rather low returns. In most cases, when you say money works for you, the reason why I'm saying leverage on the longer period of time, because when you leverage on longer period of time, that way you can be able to say this money, yes, it is giving me low returns because it has low risk. But if I'm viewing it from a long period of time, then I can be able to leverage on that, and I can be able to make huge chunk of that amount of money in a certain period of time. Why I'm saying this? Because there was a certain young guy who called me, say, hey Joseph, I have 100,000, I want to invest it somewhere. And he asked me, how much will I get if I invest this in a money market fund? I said probably maybe 13 or 13, 14,000 thereabout. And the guy was like, per what? I said, per year. Yeah. I said, yes, because it's an investment. You put your money out there, you don't even then you follow up, you don't make any calls, then they actually send you that amount of money. And the guy was like, no, I would rather go and buy. And I'm saying, now you're speaking the language of business. This is not your platform. You actually missed the door. Try the next door so that you understand the language of money working for you. And I'm telling you this, brothers and sisters, if you can manage to have money working for you, this is simple. By the way, most of those wealthy people, I've never seen somebody who is actually financially free and they are employed. Most of those wealthy people that usually probably they have employed you or usually see them in the society, most of these guys, they actually use what we call the money working for them. It is true. Go ahead and try the best as you can to incorporate this in your life, and one day you're gonna tell me it works. For now, it's a goodbye. This one is a short video. For now, it's a goodbye, and see you in the next one. And if you'd like to get any services from me, you can always grab that number of mine from the description of this specific video. Let's talk business, let's talk investment. For now, it's a goodbye, and see you in the next one.